Hello guys, gonna be breaking down the 6-game NBA slate for this Saturday. So we actually only have one game, Utah and Washington at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and then you have an hour. And that game, it's probably the least appealing game on the slate right now. And so if there's no injury news from that game, you might actually just be able to fade it and play this like a 5-game slate, which obviously the benefits of that would be you can late swap if there's any questionable guys, any late news that pops up. So that's something that I'm gonna keep an eye out on. But breaking down the slate, so for the first game, again, because there's nothing that really stands out, like they're really all tournament plays in my opinion. I would say that with Whiteside back now, he's definitely a tournament play that I can go to just for value at 3,200. He definitely has an upside. At 8,800 with Gobert, it's a little bit expensive. If Whiteside was out, I would have been felt a lot better about it, just because you do get a little bit more minutes probably. Washington, again, they do play a lot slower. They are a better defensive team this year. So for everyone on the Utah side, like it's just not that appealing. Mitchell with Conley, Boyan healthy, Clarkson, Ingles, he's capable of going off, but 9K, I just don't think you really need to do that. Conley not going to play big minutes. Same with Dinwiddie on the other side. So basically everyone's like tournament only. I think interesting guys like Whiteside, but other guys would be Harrell and Gafford because they do split center minutes. So if one of them does get into foul trouble, the other one's going to benefit. And they definitely have a high ceiling at those prices. So I guess if you're targeting ceiling, those are the most interesting guys. I would say if Washington's going to be in this game, probably someone like Kuzma could have to step up. But yeah, just again, not really that appealing. Now this game, we're talking about some really good games here. So Sacramento and Cleveland, both teams on a back-to-back. There could be some resting. Kings usually don't do that, but Harrison Barnes did just come back from injury. His minutes have been limited. They didn't even close on Friday, so we have to monitor that. Cleveland, Kevin Love, he's old. He could get rested, so there are a few pieces that we might have to keep an eye out on. But for right now, breaking it down, so the Cavs are a very solid defensive team this year. They do play really slow. So you're going to be getting the complete opposite here in the Kings, where it's just going to be a terrific spot for all these Cavs players. If you're looking at just the Kings side, it's going to be a lot tougher, but they are priced pretty nicely. So I would say that Fox actually might be the least appealing. I know that's weird to say, but just the prices, like Halliburton, he's capable of outscoring Fox. And you're saving so much salary there. Barnes, I don't really know what to do. Like, he's probably not going to play full minutes, especially on a back-to-back, so it's kind of hard to play him, but if it's going to be like single-digit owned, definitely can take a shot on that. Halliburton probably gets the most ownership here. Terrence Davis, someone that I need to talk about, 3,700. He played 22 minutes on Friday, and he got there because he got a bunch of rebounds, and he got a lot of shot attempts, and he got a lot of steals. So this is not who Terrence Davis really is. Like, I'm not expecting 8 rebounds every time. His playing time was the concern for me because they can easily just close with Buddy Hield, and they did. He just got there still. And, 3,700, again, that is cheap. He definitely is going to look good on paper, but again, this is a tough spot. The Cavs are a lot better of a team. This is a tough matchup. Better of a team as in just the pace and the defense. So if Barnes is out, then okay, I feel better about Davis, but like you have to just understand that Fox is going to close the game. Halliburton is as well. Most likely, I'm not going to say Barnes for sure now because he didn't even close Friday, but you're going to get a center, right? Because there's Allen, there's Mobley. So Bagley closed, but that was against the Hornets. They don't really have a true big man right now. Tristan Thompson's going to close. I think Tristan's actually a very intriguing tournament play. Alex Len's starting, so you're going to get one of these bigs with them. So you're just going to have to close with like Davion Mitchell, Buddy Hield, all these guys. There's only like one spot left. So it's kind of tough to see Terrence Davis getting big minutes, and it's a very tough matchup. Now, Bagley, though, I will say he's definitely the preferred option for me if you're picking between these two guys. Just same price. Bagley, he's definitely a lot just more into rotation now with Alvin Gentry and everything. They're going to need size out there as well. So I expect them to play a lot of Bagley at the 4 as well. So just more minutes to be had. Now for the Cavs side, so I think Garland's going to get a lot of ownership. Jared Allen, Mobley, just basically everyone on this team. But I think Ricky Rubio looks really sneaky. 5,200. He's coming off the bench, and that automatically makes players just lower owned. but he's basically getting starters minutes. Like he'll play over 30 minutes. He will close with Garland, but before in the three quarters though, they're gonna get their minutes staggered. Rubio is second on the team in the usage rate, 24%, and he actually outproduces Garland with Colin Sexton off the floor. So Rubio looks like to be a fantastic tournament play. Should get some ownership though, so not like low owned, but Isaac Okoro 3,300 could rack up some steals. Looks to be a good value play as well. Not going to be popular. Jared Allen, of course, 8,300. He's just playing outstanding. Evan Mobley as well. Powerful eligibility. 6,700. Marking a little bit more tournament, but just it's a great matchup for anyone when you play the Kings. Now, Houston, this is a back-to-back for them. There's been some speculation that a guy like Eric Gordon could rest, so we have to keep an eye out on that. I would expect Garrison Matthews, Armani Brooks to continue to get ownership because they're just cheap. And Christian Wood, he actually did leave the game on Friday. He did return though, but we're going to have to keep an eye out on that. So Memphis, they've been playing pretty well, even with all the injuries that they've had. So I would expect the Rockets to continue to keep games close because they've been really good. They finally lost, but that was against the Bucks, an elite team. So Rockets, we definitely have to keep an eye out on them. Right now, I would say that they're not as great of plays if they're all healthy with just the Cavs being there. Now the Memphis side of the ball, so without Dylan Brooks too now, Kyle Anderson, he was limited. He was very productive. Got to wait and see if he's going to be limited again and what that limit is. Probably will be because he only played like 15 or so. Yeah, 15 minutes. So Houston, again, a very good matchup for the Grizzlies, but if he's not going to play like over 20 minutes, it's kind of tough to pay 4,400. I don't think I need to have that. Now, Jaren Jackson, 7,500. His price is starting to increase, but I'm still going to really like that. Just with no Brooks now, too, his usage rate is going to creep closer up to the 40%, and that is just insane. He got into foul trouble last game, still was able to put up 36 points in 29 minutes. So this guy, he's definitely got 50-plus point ceiling, and this is a very good match against the Rockets. Desmond Bane, 1,700, just not someone that I would say has that high of a ceiling because he just doesn't do enough with the assists, but he is going to get a lot of shot attempts. Same thing with Jaren. Now, Tyus Jones, same thing. He's going to get ownership, but this guy, I question his ceiling. Like, can he really hit 40? He's just not that type of prolific scorer to do that. He's going to need to have like a crazy high assist and steal game. Now, it is a matchup that is favorable for that, though. With Clark out, Steven Adams probably will still get some run, but Kyle Anderson is in, so that makes it easier for them to run Jaren at center and just have a forward move down to the 4. Now, D'Anthony Melton looks like to be probably the standout play here. 5,100, just going to be starting for Dylan Brooks probably again, and just the matchup, he's very productive when he's out there. He does a little bit of everything, so he's just too cheap. He should probably be like 6K plus. And then next game, Chicago at Miami. So for the Chicago side, still no DeRozan. They do have Derek Jones Jr. out as well. Alex Caruso should be back for this one. They're definitely going to close with Caruso. I would say Lonzo, Vooch, Levine. So you're probably going to get like the Sunmu maybe out there, or Troy Brown, whoever's going to be, getting they're playing with the hot hand. Now, Alize Johnson could get the power forward minutes. He is the minimum, but obviously you're probably not going to get a good rebounding game out of him when Vucevic is in there, and I just don't think that's a value that you need to have. Now, the guys that you do need to talk about, Vooch. Levine, yes, he's 9,800. It is expensive for him. There's no DeRozan, so if you want to play him, that's totally fine. There's no Jimmy Butler. Defense is going to be a lot weaker. No Bam, but no Bam. That is the thing why I like Vooch a whole lot here. I don't think he's going to be that popular because he just hasn't had a monster game. Like this one, sure, that was against Charlotte though. So, you kind of expected something to happen out there. But he hasn't shot well, but that's definitely going to improve. Like a center, he's not going to do this poorly. Rebounds are always going to be there. He's an underrated passer. He's not the best shot blocker, but he's been getting some decently. So that's pretty good to see. If he just shoots a little bit better, like you're on like a 50-plus point game out of him. And his price is falling. The stats, they don't show that the Heat are a good matchup, but again, there's no Bam here, there's no Butler. The Heat are actually very bad against centers recently. In the last 7 games, they have given up the second most DK points to opposing centers. Now, that does include one game against Jokic, but other centers are like Miles Turner, not the best fantasy producers. So, Vooch, he is an excellent player out there when he's, getting the minutes. Competitive games, he is going to get like 35 minutes. So, I really do like Vooch. I think he can definitely get 50-plus points here. possibly even 60. So I love the matchup, and I don't think it's going to be that high owned. Now the other guys, Caruso, he's able to get full minutes, sure, at 5K, but like it definitely doesn't look like he's too healthy right now. Now we're gonna have to wait on and see who's gonna be starting for Derrick Jones Jr. For the Miami side, again, with all these injuries, you do need to take advantage. So Kyle Lowry, again, just under-owned at every single slate right now. Like, it's crazy to see how productive he's been, but people just don't want to roster him. So 7,700, I'm definitely going to have some. He already put up a 39-point game last time, and that was with Butler and Bam in. So I like this matchup. Same thing, they're going to be dealing with Lonzo and Caruso, but that's still fine. He's going to get a lot of usage. Ball's going to be in his hands. Same with Hero, but Hero's probably going to get more of the ownership because it's cheaper, and he has that shooting guard eligibility. Now, Deadman, you can play. Hopefully, he stays on the court, doesn't get a foul trouble, 4,500. He's going to be needed out there to guard Vooch. Now, you could get some value out of these guys like Caleb Martin. I don't think he's like really a chase. Duncan Robinson, he was able to shoot well for sure. 3,500. The Bulls are bottom third in allowing threes, so could be a good spot for him if he's able to get minutes. He is cheap, of course. There are more shots available. Now, please do not chase like PJ Tucker, KZ Okpala. Those are career games for them. PJ Tucker, we already know who this guy is. Like, he's gonna get minutes though. He is near like the minimum. He probably should have been priced like 4K after last game, but he isn't. So I understand if you're gonna play him, but like it never feels good to roster a chalky PJ Tucker. Now Golden State at Philly. So for the Golden State side, I'm expecting Jordan Poole to be a very popular option. 5,700 just looks to be very cheap. He's been playing really well, and you're probably going to see Tyrese Maxey on Poole, and then you get Danny Green on Curry as well as Thibault. So Poole should have a better matchup, but I mean, Curry's still going to do his thing out there. Poole just looks like to be an underpriced option. Draymond Green, 7,100. He definitely he gets up for these games. So against Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris. I expect Draymond to have a very good game here. Like, he usually does have just crazy, all-around games when he does play a good opponent. And I'm not sure if this game is going to be national televised, but I mean, it is a huge game, right? So I think Draymond's very interesting for tournaments. Not going to stand out, especially because he just doesn't really score the ball a whole lot. Now, onto the Philly side. So if you're going to be playing anyone on the Philly side, like, I don't really think anyone's appealing. Golden State's just a very tough defensive team. Embiid at 11-2, like, I mean, Embiid's going to want to try to show out against this team. 11-2, though, it is tough to pay, and I think Vooch definitely looks like to be a better play than him, so it's going to be tough to get there. People probably going to just want to pay up for Jokic if they're going to pay up to this price, so I don't think anyone really stands out here, but Embiid, I would say, probably is the guy. Like, for the value, I mean, I think Thibault's going to get some good minutes to guard Curry, but just not a solid fantasy producer. And the last game, Denver at San Antonio. So this is a matchup of the Thursday game, but Kellen Johnson will be back, or he's at least probable right now. Jokic 11-9, of course, if you can get there, sure. If you have the value, definitely you can roster multiple pay-up options. So I think Jokic is definitely in play. Aaron Gordon, 6,400, he played well last game, but just not someone I really want to target. Like, you look at the other games just with Jokic, like, Jokic is going to be the main guy. So not really targeting anyone else. Like, if you're looking for value, I think Composite and Highland could be plays if you really need it. They both do have the ball a lot in their hands, and they will get more minutes if they're playing well. Now, on the Spurs side, so Keldon's back. That's going to hurt the Stars a little bit. Obviously, with McDermott, Vassell also back, Lonnie, just all these guys, their minutes are going to be a little bit lower, I would say, at least projected. But Derek White, 6,500, he's been playing really well. I think he's going to get some solid ownership, but he looks like to be a good play. Jakob Poeltl, 6,600, his minutes are going to be try to match what Jokic is. He is the best counter that the Spurs do have against him, so I expect him to get some solid minutes, but of course, massive foul trouble risk, not a good matchup. So Spurs, I would say the standout is definitely Derek White. Now, the best plays on the slate, so it's going to start with the Cavs, so I really like Rubio, and then, of course, Evan Mobley, and then on to Memphis. D'Anthony Melton, going to be a very chalky option, but looks like to be one of the best plays of the slate. And then Vooch, not really popular probably, but I do really like him. And then the Kings with Marvin Bagley, 3,700, just looks like to be way too cheap. So that's going to be the core 5 for today. Leaving guys a lot of salary to build around that if you guys do want. I will be writing my free article on DFS Army. Link will be posted in the comments below. So please be sure to check that out. Other than Cade Cunningham, tonight, there's an absolute pretty much a smash with Karis LeVert going off. Marvin Bagley was in that article. Lauren Markkinen got there over 5x in limited time, 22 minutes blowout. So hit 3 out of the 4, returning really good value. All of them were very low owned. So hopefully I can do the same. Definitely Vucevic is going to be on there, probably Rubio as well. So expect those guys to be in there. And yeah, thank you guys for if you're going to check out the article in advance, thank you. And of course, getting to this part of the video, thank you guys for all the support. So good luck on this slate. If you have any questions, you can find my Twitter in the description below. Please feel free to ask, DM me. Always happy to help. So again, thank you guys for all the love and good luck on the slate. Bye.